Check mic 1 2 1 2. Check mic 1 2 1 2. First of all, I would like to apologize for the current state of my being. My eyes are all dry. Allergies have been absolutely destroying me. I have been up for a very long time, which we are going to get to. We are going to explain that. But first of all, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you stick around. I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes, but this is just going to be the full-on update when it comes to content creation, what's going on with my life, Patreon, stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me that you would take time out of your day to kind of catch up with what's been going on with me. So we are going to move on to the current status of projects. So I have a few projects that I've been working on for a long time, some of which that are just now getting rolling, some of which are getting shelved for a little bit, all of which are still being worked on meticulously by me and other people. But just to go through them real quick. So my Twitch project. Twitch is what I use to stream video games. I currently stream Subnautica and Sonic, and I have a pretty decent following over there, over 200 people that have the ability to see my stuff and watch my stuff, so that's pretty exciting. We are currently heading towards a pretty big milestone. I'm not sure what it is, but we're well over a few thousand views on our Twitch channel, so that's pretty exciting, especially for it being so new and me just getting back into it. So I would like to thank everybody involved with that. Those of you who come and chat and hang out and donate, thank you so much. Huge shout out to Zach Gonzalez. Thank you so much for being my #1 financial supporter when it comes to Twitch. Your support means the world to me. And we are going to be doing more of that. I'm going to explain kind of what's going on with me and why you're not seeing a whole lot of me. But we are going to get into that. So Project Esbern, for those of you who have been following what I've been doing recently, you know that I've been working on an esports team in multiple games. Project Esbern is currently being shelved. It is going on hiatus until the board that I've kind of accumulated with some of my players kind of comes up with some recruitment protocols, because we've been dealing with petty dramatic stuff recently, none of which had to do with us or my board, but just some stuff that we've been dealing with. It's a really hard scene to get into, and we are making strides. I'm hoping to have that completely finished and running by the end of summer. With summer coming up, that kind of leads me into my next couple of things. I'm going to be working on a lot of podcasting, two in particular. The first of which, Project VP, also known as Vape Politics. For those of you who know a little bit about my history and my background, I used to be, you could say, a consultant for the e-cigarette industry. I worked for a bunch of companies and helped them make their businesses better, and I consulted them on how to deal with potential legislation that was coming and connect with their advocacy organizations and connect with lobbyists and stuff like that. So I did that for a few years. I'm currently working on getting my old podcast from those days up and running, Vape Politics, which I'm working on with my friend George. So that's pretty exciting. It just takes a lot of energy to get started with a podcast. And on top of that, I'm dealing with the same problems now with the e-cigarette industry, which caused me to leave in the first place. The only reason I'm even considering re-entering that kind of space is because I think that the industry as a whole kind of needs some new insight and a fresh look at information, because I feel like we're only listening to one specific set of views and we're not kind of getting everything we need from there. But that's neither here nor there. Moving on to an actual fun project for most of you, Project Nerd. Project Nerd is a podcast that's currently in the pipeline that I'm going to be working in conjunction with my cousin Connor, who runs the Sloth Talk YouTube channel. Hopefully we can begin production on that soon. We'll be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We'll be talking about Magic the Gathering. We'll be talking about D&D. And it's really cool because Connor has a lot more insight into the MCU, and whereas I have more insight into things like Magic and D&D. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of our perspectives and asking questions back and forth. And that'll probably expand into things like comic books and stuff like that. So that can be pretty exciting. And again, Vape Politics and the Nerd Podcast will both be hopefully up and running. I'm hoping mid-June. Before then would be amazing, but mid-June. Kind of moving into more of the reason that I made this video. I've been dealing with some stuff. I've talked to a lot of people about it, but I deal with some, not all the time, but some sporadic depression. And streaming helps, and getting outside helps, and spending time with my friends helps, but it's always like looming. It's always a huge pressure on me. This pressure to make this work and make all of these projects a reality, because I know that I can affect people's lives and I can affect change if I just stick to this and if I make this work. Recently, in the past couple weeks, the last couple weeks of April, I have not been able to do so. Number one, I have been sick as a dog for weeks. I'm dealing with insomnia, partially due to the depression. But on top of that, allergy season has been absolutely brutal down here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's got me really good. As you can tell, I'm on so much allergy medication, it would blow your mind. But that doesn't kind of explain what has been going on this past week. This past week, unfortunately, for those of you who know kind of my personal life story, I live with my grandparents. We share a house together, and my grandfather, who is as stubborn as a mule, has accidentally hurt himself trying to move something that he should have let me move. And due to that, he's thrown out his back, which has led to more injuries because of him trying to get up and move around. But he is weak to the point where I now have to pick him up, which causes me not to be able to do things like work on the Twitch streaming or work on the podcasts, because at any moment I could be needed and I need to step away from my office, step away from the computer, and go do what I need to do, which is causing more issues for my sleep schedule, which was already kind of messed up, and then it's also causing issues for Twitch streaming and just kind of content creation in general. Of course, that's my priority. I'm going to help him until he's better, but it's just kind of rough not being able to stream, not being able to leave the house for the most part, due to the fact that I'm needed here, which is unfortunate for me and for him. I mean, the amount of pain he's in is earth-shattering. It's incredible, the amount of pain that he's in. It hurts me just to be in the same room. But I get up multiple times a night. I'm helping. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just trying to give you guys an explanation for why you're not seeing a lot of Twitch streams and not a lot of activity in Discord. I don't have the energy, and when I do, at a moment's notice, I could be called away, which would require me to either end the stream or pause and leave people on hiatus for 15 to 30 minutes, depending on what needs to be done. Now, the podcasting stuff, I'm working on notes, and I'm going to be working with my prospective partners on those podcasts and working on that. But I just wanted to let everybody kind of know I am dedicating myself to this as much as I can. I'm putting 50, 60 hours a week of work into things like Twitch and things like Espern and things like Vape Politics and the Nerd Podcast and other projects that I want to do. I want to work on some political campaigns. I want to get out there and I want to knock on doors. I want to do lots of stuff. I want to get active in my community. These are all things that I want to do, and I'm able to do thanks to kind of the next point that I wanted to make. I wanted to say a huge thank you to my April patrons from Patreon who supported me with a total of almost $100 this month, which has been incredible, because it used to be that I was so dedicated to specifically this, that I wasn't actively trying to find normal work like 40 hours, 9 to 5, sit behind a desk and or do something else. That just doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't do anything for my core, and it doesn't help me. Whereas this stuff, it actually builds me up and it makes me feel not only a lot better about myself, but a lot better about the things that I can help people with. And so this month, I went out and I tried to get jobs, and I got jobs, and then they all fell through, either because of scheduling conflicts, either because of it's mind-boggling, because I decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to shelve all my projects. I'm just not going to worry about that. That's apparently not the path for me, and I'm going to go get a normal job. And every time I got to the part where I was supposed to get that normal job and start working the door shut in my face. So I'm taking that as a sign from God that I need to redirect back to what I was doing. I'm hopefully going to get something part-time kind of in the local area to kind of, feed myself and support my grandparents. But I did want to say a huge thank you to my patrons and my Twitch subscribers and the people who are supporting me with bits on Twitch and all that kind of stuff. Which kind of brings me to the final point. With all this going on, it would mean the world to me if you would consider, first of all, thank you so much for staying for this whole video. I've been trying to keep it short. We're at 9 minutes right now. But it would mean the world to me if you would consider becoming a patron on Patreon. And so what that means is Patreon is a site that allows people to become monthly supporters of people who have projects and small business ideas, things like bands and things like people are designing artwork and selling them on Patreon. There's all sorts of stuff that people are doing on Patreon, and Patreon is a way where I can receive support because you are interested in seeing what I can do with this, and you're entertained by the content, or people who are entertained by the content, or that with the content it can entertain other people, even if that entertainment doesn't pertain to you. So if you are interested, our lowest tier is $5 a month. It's literally half of a Netflix subscription. It's actually a little less than half of a Netflix subscription. I'm currently shooting for 15 patrons. We currently are sitting at 5. Once I fix one thing with one of our Patreons who got their stuff declined this past weekend. But $5 a month to support something that I truly believe, and this isn't money grabbing, this isn't me trying to be selfish, I truly believe can help entertain and lift people up and help them on a day-to-day basis. When they see a new video, or when they see a new podcast, or when they see that I'm live on Twitch, that makes them happy, that gives them something to do. It provides a connection for people who otherwise wouldn't have that kind of social interaction. So if that is something that you would consider supporting, I would love to have you as a patron. There are specific rewards, physical and internet-wise, that you can achieve through Patreon, becoming a patron, but it would just mean the world to me. So I hope that kind of updates you on what's going on. I'm hoping that we had a chiropractor visit today. I'm hoping that will help my grandfather. He can get back on his feet, and I can get back to what I need to be doing, which is the content creation, the Twitch, the Esperin, the Vape Politics, the Nerd Podcast. Like, these are all things that I want to work on, and I'm really excited to work on them and present you guys with the end result. So I hope that he gets better soon. I hope that I start sleeping soon, because that's something that I desperately need, as you can tell from this video. But I'm just super excited about the future. I've got a lot of stuff planned, and I hope that you will consider supporting us on Patreon. So thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless, and good grief, I hope I get some sleep tonight. Good night. Love you. Kack out.